The Galactic Educational Exchange Program's xenobiology class had been Professor Zethai's pride for 3 standard cycles. Students from 17 different species gathered in the Biodome laboratory, studying the universe's most fascinating predators in controlled environments. The Altarian crystal mines documented everything with perfect precision, the vegan hive clusters analyzed behavioral patterns collectively, and the Zentorian gas forms observed from their specialized atmospheric chambers. Then came the human. Sarah Chen arrived on a Tuesday, carrying what appeared to be a primitive cloth container filled with organic matter. The other students had grown accustomed to humanity's bizarre customs over the past semester, but Professor Zethai still found their newest pupil unsettling. "Today," announced the professor, his 4 eyes scanning the assembled class, "we observe the Creathian shadow stalker, apex predator of the Outer Rim territories. Note the adaptive camouflage, the razor-sharp appendages, and most importantly," his voice dropped to a whisper, "its perfect hunting instincts." The creature materialized in the center of the sealed observation chamber, a writhing mass of midnight black tentacles and gleaming fangs. 8 feet of pure evolutionary perfection, capable of taking down prey twice its size. The class collectively stepped back, except for Sarah, who pressed closer to the reinforced viewing wall. "Oh my God," she whispered, eyes wide with wonder. "It's like a giant octopus had a baby with a panther." The shadow stalker's heat-sensing organs immediately locked onto the warmest signature in the room: Sarah. Its tentacles writhed with predatory excitement as it began its signature hunting behavior, the slow, methodical stalk that had terrorized spacers across 3 sectors. The Altarian students' crystalline bodies chimed in harmonious alarm. The Vegans' collective consciousness buzzed with warning pheromones. Even the gas-form Zentorians contracted into tighter defensive configurations. "Fascinating," Professor Zethai noted, recording everything. "Observe how it identifies the optimal target, the human's elevated body temperature and carbon dioxide, output marker as the most viable prey in the— Oh, look at it. It's doing that cute stocky thing." Sarah interrupted, completely missing the mortal danger she was apparently in. "Professor, does it eat meat? I brought some beef jerky." "Absolutely not." Zethai's 4 eyes bulged. "The containment field is impenetrable, but feeding protocols are strictly forbidden. That creature could tear through reinforced battle armor." Sarah nodded absently, then did something that defied every law of galactic biology textbooks. She pulled out a strip of what appeared to be dried animal protein and pressed it against the containment field. The shadow stalker paused mid-stalk. Its 6 primary sensory organs swiveled toward the offered food. For a moment that stretched into eternity, predator and human regarded each other through the energy barrier. Then, moving with surprising gentleness, one tentacle reached out and carefully extracted the jerky through the field's molecular filter, a safety feature designed only for emergency nutrient delivery. No, this is impossible," Professor Zethai stammered. "Shadow stalkers don't accept food offerings. They only consume prey they've personally killed. It's hardwired into their neural matrix." But the creature was already consuming the jerky, its bioluminescent patterns shifting from hunting red to what appeared to be contentment blue. "Good boy," Sarah cooed, pulling out another strip. "Who's a good apex predator?" "Yes, you are." The shadow stalker's tentacles performed what could only be described as a wiggle of pleasure. The class erupted in chaos. The Altarians' harmonic frequencies shattered into discord. The Vegans released panic pheromones that clouded their section of the room. 3 Zentorians dispersed entirely and had to be reconstituted by the emergency systems. "This defies everything we know about predator psychology." Professor Zethai was frantically consulting his data tablets. Creathian shadow stalkers are incapable of forming symbiotic relationships. They're evolutionary perfect killers. Sarah scratched behind what might have been the creature's ear analog through the field. The shadow stalker's entire body began to emit a low, thrumming sound. Is it purring?" whispered Kethmore, a normally stoic Rigelian whose rocky exterior was visibly trembling. "That's impossible. Shadow stalkers don't have the vocal apparatus for... Zethai stopped as his instruments registered the sound. By the 7 moons of Kepler, it is purring. Humans, Sarah explained conversationally while offering the creature a third piece of jerky, have been domesticating predators for about 40,000 years. Started with wolves, moved on to cats, then foxes, ravens, dolphins. She shrugged. We're pretty good at making friends with things that are supposed to eat us. The shadow stalker had now arranged itself in what appeared to be a relaxed position, all 8 tentacles draped casually while it waited for more snacks. The hunting red bioluminescence had shifted to warm gold. But the evolutionary matrix... Zethai protested weakly. The hardwired aggression patterns. Yeah, our cats were supposed to be solitary desert hunters too, Sarah said, scratching the creature's tentacle as it pressed against the containment field. Now they knock things off our tables for attention and sleep in cardboard boxes. Evolution's weird like that. Over the following weeks, word spread throughout the galactic academic community. The infamous Crethian shadow stalker, terror of the void, perfect killing machine, evolutionary apex of lethality, had become, in the words of one bewildered xenobiologist, essentially a very large, very deadly pet. Sarah visited daily, always carrying her cloth bag of snacks. The creature learned to recognize her approach and would position itself by the viewing wall, tentacles performing that distinctive wiggle of anticipation. Other students began observing not the predator, but the human, this bizarre species, that looked at fangs and claws and razor-sharp appendages and somehow saw a friend instead of death. Professor Zethai updated his textbooks. The chapter on Crethian shadow stalkers now included a footnote. Behavioral patterns may be subject to modification when exposed to humans. Recommend extreme caution, as humans appear capable of befriending literally anything regardless of its capacity for violence. In the margins of his personal copy, he added a handwritten note. Note to self: never, ever, let Sarah near the Void Kraken exhibit. On the other side of the galaxy, in a maximum security xenobiology facility, a Void Kraken exhibit coordinator felt an inexplicable chill and decided to review his security protocols. Just in case.